Good day. Welcome to News Now on TV360. I'm Thelma Okoro. The Nigerian government says it supports the establishment of the Whistleblowing Act. The act was approved by the government last year to protect whistleblowers in the country. Since its inception, the whistleblower policy has aided in the recovery of hundreds of millions of stolen funds. Now, following the success of the policy, the Nigerian government has vowed to not only protect the whistleblowers, but also reward them.
I want to assure you, and through you, the Nigerian people, that whistleblower protection is something we subscribe to wholeheartedly and completely in this ministry, and of course is a government position and directive, and I personally believe very much in it and have throughout my career, and will do everything possible to protect everything possible and even impossible to protect any whistleblower in this ministry, because the agenda of the government is clearly one that would embrace and embraces whistleblowers. As a result of this person being a whistleblower, I can give you an assurance and a guarantee right here that damages will be paid and the person will be reinstated, that we will do everything possible. We have also from the Vice President a request that I should look into it again. So I will personally look into it, and I will come back and report on it, what was found, and measures will be taken. So on this one, as far as this ministry is concerned, you can rest assured that justice and the right thing will always be done.
The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has threatened the Nigerian government with a fresh strike action. In a press briefing, the body accused the Nigerian government of deceit by slashing funds to federal universities. It says this has affected payment of university lecturers' salaries. The union warned of consequential damage to public university education in Nigeria if the federal government does not stop to slash in lecturers' salaries. Students of Government Secondary School Lafia, the Nasarawa state capital, have staged a protest over the alleged killing of their fellow student by one of the sons of the governor of the state, Khalil Umar Al-Makura. They took to the streets carrying leaves and placards with inscriptions demanding justice for the killing of Ovie Amos, a junior secondary school student. It took the intervention of the police and officers of the Nigerian Civil Defense Corps, their teachers and the government to calm them down. Addressing the students at the school parade ground, the Nasarawa state government, who was represented by the Commissioner of Education, Aliyu Tijani, expressed his sympathy and promised to bring the perpetrator of the act to book. The Nigerian government has warned its citizens against illegal migration to South Africa. Speaking at a joint press conference, Interior Minister Abdurrahman Dambazao said Nigerians traveling to South Africa should only go through legal means. Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, who was also present at the meeting, said the Nigerian government, in collaboration with the South African government, has set up a quick response unit to curb xenophobic attacks.
They accepted that we should set up what we called spontaneously an early warning unit. And we said that this unit should comprise, on the South African side, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Home Affairs, and the police will be in that unit. And also in that unit will be our High Commission in South Africa, will be our consulate in South Africa, and for me, most importantly, will be the leadership of the National Union, of the Nigerian Union of South Africa will also be at that table. But in discussing with the Nigerian Union of South Africa, we said to them, and also when we went to meet the victims at those places, get all your documents right. Make sure that you have them. The cars that were burnt, the status and everything else. You have to be thorough about it, Take photographs before all the evidence is removed. So we gave them all that advice and collate in a systematic way all the losses that have been that you've suffered.
And I will talk of this issue of irregular migrants from Nigeria, those who come as visitors. Then when they go out of status, they remain and illegally, sort of, quote unquote. And there are those who come after some time, then they are seeking asylum. So they have concerns on some of those claims of asylum seekers in particular. That's why I said that somebody from Port Harcourt will go to South Africa and claim asylum because of Boko Haram.
The Nigerian government has also warned against the destruction of South African businesses here in Nigeria. According to the government, the destruction is wrong and should not be used as retaliation for South African attacks on Nigerians.
All this MTN you see, what's the name of those? ShopRite, DSTV and so on. The bulk of the investment belong to Nigerians. If you destroy that, you have done quite a lot of things. You've destroyed the wealth of Nigerians. You're also denying employment to so many people. So it would be foolish for you to go and attack what you term as MTN interest, as South African interest. So we shouldn't go to that kind of extent. And that is why the foreign minister I mentioned that the best way to deal with such a situation is through dialogue, communication.
Nigeria's Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has commenced preparations for the 2019 elections. Mahmoud Yakubu, the chairman of the electoral body, says early preparations will make the process of election go smoother and successful. He said INEC is set to partner with the Nigerian media to ensure that the campaign for early preparations are carried out not just by the voters but by the political parties and candidates as a whole. Meanwhile, INEC has confirmed that no less than 7.8 million permanent voters' cards, which is the PVCs, are yet to be collected since the 2015 general elections. Former governor of Delta State James Ibori has challenged his 2012 conviction for fraud at the British Court of Appeal. The trial, which is presided over by David Tomlinson, is to determine if Ibori's assets should be seized by the government. The court has indefinitely adjourned proceedings in that case. Ibori was released last month after serving out his jail term in a UK prison. He was sentenced to prison for 13 years after pleading guilty to 10 charges of fraud and money laundering in February 2012. Nigeria's presidential spokesperson Garba Shehu says efforts to get the nation out of its present economic challenges are beginning to yield positive results, especially in the agricultural sector. According to him, an increase in the volume of rice production and processing across the country is already saving the country a lot of foreign exchange. Shehu says Nigeria only imported 58,000 tons of rice from Thailand in 2015, which is against 1.2 million tons which was imported in 2014. The Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria has condemned the killing of its members and stealing of their livestock at Yakira village, Gonara district in Baruten local government area of Kwara State. The national secretary of the association, Baba Othman Ngelzama, said the group felt terribly pained by the recent incident. He said he urged the government to put in place a comprehensive appraisal of the calamity and compensate its members. Following the health crisis rocking Queen's College, Lagos, the resumption of academic activities at the school has now been postponed indefinitely. There had been an outbreak of waterborne diseases in the school, leading to deaths of students and panic among parents of the school. So far, 2 students have died since the outbreak of the diseases, with more than 50 others currently on admission in the school's clinic. In its reaction, the Lagos State government advised an indefinite shutdown of the school. The school authorities have now followed that recommendation. Sereke Dixon, the governor of Bayelsa State, says Ahmed McCarthy does not have the legal backing to serve as chairman of the People's Democratic Party. He says the caretaker committee of the PDP was stripped of his authority the day a Port Harcourt appeal court declared Ali Modu the authentic chairman of the PDP. Dixon has urged McCarthy to step down from office and allow Sheriff to work for the party.
Corruption not in my country.
Mr. John! Mr. John! What is it now?
What is it now?
Please turn down the volume of your music. It's too loud.
And how is that your business?
It is disturbing me. I can't sleep.
And the same way you are disturbing my right to good music and where I enjoy it. Eh? What's wrong with you? Is any other person complaining?
Maybe we thought that you have lost your mind. Are you having a party?
I'm just respecting you, sir. You remember I paid my husband too.
You will not understand why we are complaining because you do not care about other people except yourself. Look, the transformation we need in this country begins in this compound.
Yes, now.
From you and I. This your selfishness is an offshoot of corruption. And corruption
not in my country.
Oh, you know, go to your bank. Go.
Corruption not in my country.
Thanks for staying with us. Up next, we have business news with Fidelia.
Thank you, Thelma. CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele says Nigeria's monetary and fiscal authorities must work together to get the much-desired growth needed to get the country out of recession. He was speaking at a retreat ahead of a two-day meeting of the bank's Monetary Policy Committee. The MPC began its meeting on Monday and is expected to announce its decision on Tuesday. At its last meeting, the MPC retained the country's benchmark interest rate at 14%. The CBN also decided to leave the existing cash reserve ratio for commercial banks at 22.5% and the liquidity ratio rate at 30%. Meanwhile, overnight lending rate eased to 12% at the start of the week as commercial lenders anticipated fresh inflows from state borders. This comes as the CBN plans to top offers $100 million in currency forwards to be delivered within the next 60 days. The local currency was quoted at $3.07 to the dollar on the interbank market, while it was also quoted at $4.45 on the black market. The Apex Bank has consistently been selling foreign exchange to importers since February in a move to increase dollar supply in the market and narrow the margin between official and black market rates. Oil prices fell around 1 cent on Monday as investors continue to unwind bets over concerns that growing U.S. oil output could hamper an OPEC-led production cut deal. Brent crude futures were down 55 cents at $51.21 a barrel, while U.S. crude futures were trading 73 cents lower at $48.5 a barrel. Oil futures has retreated in the past 2 weeks as supply overhang driven by rising production from the United States overshadows a deal by OPEC and other producers to reduce output. Well, that's all on business. More stories coming up with Thelma. Don't go away.
Corruption not in my country.
That was a very good business. Yeah. The furniture you brought was very perfect.
Yeah, that's how we roll.
Let me do you receipts.
Yeah. How much was it again?
1 million naira.
Okay, write 2.5.
Mbano. The deal was for 1 million naira now.
Okay, write 3 million. I'll give you 500.
Oh no, I don't do business like that now. Yeah.
In that case, give me back my check. Let me go and look for someone that understand business.
Take.
Your loss.
But it is only for incorruptible customers. What are you talking?
Now get that.
What kind of this?
You will just die.
No,
You will die.
That is the door. Now get out from here.
Rubbish.
Look, my people, make una only add money for original invoice price. That's not corruption. Say no, not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. At least 18 people, mainly high school students, have died after a large tree fell on them at a popular waterfall spot in Kintampo in Ghana. 22 others were injured and are being treated at local hospitals in the country. Rescue teams used chainsaws to cut through the fallen tree and free those trapped underneath. President Nana Akufo-Addo has tweeted his condolences to the families of the victims. UK Prime Minister Theresa May is set to officially notify the European Union next Wednesday that the UK is set to leave the Union. Downing Street said she would write a letter to the European Council, adding that it hoped negotiations on the terms of exit and future relations could then begin as quickly as possible. The move comes 9 months after a referendum in which the UK voted to leave by a margin of 51.9% to 48.1%. An EU spokesman said it was ready and waiting for the UK's letter. Once upon a time, Nigeria was a dominant force in track and field events, especially in athletics. Nigerian sprinters were ranked among the best in the world, often competing with the Americans and Jamaicans. The country has produced among the highest number sub-10 runners in the 100 meters in Africa. But athletics has taken a nosedive in Nigeria. In the last 2 Olympic Games, Nigeria did not win a single medal in the sports. But one young Nigerian is driving an initiative to change that in the next Olympic Games in Tokyo 2020.
Some of Nigeria's future Olympians. They are part of the track club known as Making of Champions. If everything goes according to plan, these young athletes will be flying the country's flag in Tokyo in 3 years' time. And not only will they be flying the flag of the country, they'll be aiming to win medals as well. Under the tutelage of Nigeria's former track star and Olympic medalist Deji Aliu, they're learning everything they need to know ahead of the ultimate task in 3 years' time.
No, I mean, it's not up to a year, and I mean, a lot of people they've started saying what we're doing. I mean, I don't have any doubt in my mind that before 2020 we'll start seeing the product of MOC doing very well in various competitions. I don't have any doubts in my mind. I mean, I don't even need to wait till 2020 before we start seeing progress on the track. I mean, the next 1 or 2 years you start seeing MOC athletes doing very well.
Progress has already been recorded. 2 of the club's female athletes have been posting impressive times. Both Chiamaka and Joy, still under 18 and students, have run 11.87 and 12.08 seconds in the 100 meters, and both of them are due to compete in the Africa and World Youth Championships.
My dream is to be at the Olympics 2020 Tokyo, and I'm working very hard towards it. I'm working towards it to achieve that dream, to be there. So we're not just going there to win a medal.
If I can be able to put on hard work and determine and focus more on the track, yes, school curriculum is getting ahead of me, we have exam, but if I'll be able to put on hard work, I know I'll make it and I'll come back with medal.
The initiative is the idea of this young man, Bambo Akani. He says he was moved to set up the track club after Nigeria failed to win a single medal at the London 2012 Olympics.
We find the athletes, we offer them scholarships, we bring them into the club and we start training them while educating them at the same time. The way we started that was through a reality show. We launched Nigeria's first ever athletics reality show in 2015. It's called Top Sprinter. And we went around the country with 4 Olympic medalists who were the judges on the show. We have a competition, then we take the top 50 in each location into the decision room, and the Olympic medalists get to fight over them for their teams. It's a bit like The Voice, if you've seen The Voice. So we're thankful because, you know, even back in 2015, the BBC recognized Top Sprinter as the X factor for sprinters. And that's where all our athletes at the Making of Champions Track Club were discovered, on the reality show.
With sponsorship from some organizations, the club now has 13 athletes between the ages of 15 and 20 who are studying and training at the same time.
And we've also launched a scholarship, and the scholarship is very simple. Athletes between the ages of 15 and 20, you've got to support them for 3, 4, 5 years for them to make it to the top. And the best way to do that is by sponsoring their education so that they're at university while they're training for the next Olympics. That's how it's done in USA and Jamaica, and now we're trying to bring that here. And it's been received well, I guess, by some corporate sponsors. You know, we have Shell sponsoring a girl who was the fastest 15-year-old in Nigeria. We also have ARCO Group sponsoring a couple of athletes. But obviously we need to achieve a bit more scale, a lot more athletes in the scholarship for it to really change the sport in Nigeria over the next few years.
The expectation is that by 2020, they'll be ready for the big stage.
I've seen like few of them. I've seen like 3, 4, 5. I don't have to start mentioning names that I know they can do far better than what I did. Far better than what I did. And I know with the right structure, support and everything, I know it's not going to take them, you know, the time it took me is not going to take them, you know, within the short period of time. I'm very sure they will get there.
Did you have access to this when you were growing up as
a
young sprinter?
That's why I said it's not going to take them the number of years it took me, because with what they are enjoying right now, I'm very sure within a short period of time they'll be able to, you know, spread their, you know, their wings and fly. For me, when I was coming up, the truth is I didn't even have not even quarter of the opportunity they are enjoying right now. So that's where I'm drawing the belief from that, you know, within a short period of time they'll be able to do very well.
I'm very confident that a lot of these athletes will represent Nigeria in Tokyo 2020. We still have over 3 years to get there. And what's unique about what we're doing is that nobody has attempted to fund athletes for 4 years before the Olympics until now. Ordinarily, a camp will open 3 or 4 months before the Olympics, and by then it's much too late. Now we're taking 16, 17, 18-year-olds who in 4 years' time are going to be at the peak of their powers. And as long as we can keep them funded, keep them well-fed, give them an education between now and 2020, I think Team Nigeria is going to be flying at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics.
For now, everything is all working out to plan. And if they stay that way, then there's no doubt that the goal of Tokyo 2020 will be achieved.
Former Super Eagles coach Festus Onigbinde has thrown his weight behind new CAF president Ahmad Ahmed. Ahmad was elected CAF president last Thursday, defeating long-serving president Issa Hayatou. Onigbinde has advised Ahmad to be firm and advised him not to repeat the mistakes of Issa Hayatou. Arsenal's coach Arsene Wenger has reportedly decided to extend his 21-year stay at the club despite growing pressure for him to quit. The Daily Telegraph reports that the Frenchman wants to stay on, though it claims the 2-year contract extension offered by the club is still to be formally agreed. Wenger confirmed after Saturday's 3-1 defeat at West Brom that he had made a decision about his future and would announce it very soon. Well, that's it on News Now. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Thelma Okoro.